Houston, we have a problem.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka, Draziv, guys. Welcome to the show. If you're watching us from YouTube, do comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're watching us from Flat Earth Research Network group or World Flat Earth Association group, do comment and tag your friends. And if you're finally watching us from realtruthseekers.com or rts.video, yeah, we have a huge community there. And yes, RTS is one of our main sponsors for Heliopsychosis podcast. So make sure you guys check out realtruthseekers.com, rts.video. You can also find the link in the description below. This show can also be watched through RTS if somebody wants to. Yep. And yes, what an awesome, interesting show we have today, the topic. So before we jump in, we go on with our host and panelists today. First, we've got Jeannie with us, and co-host. Jeannie, how are you, brother?
Hi, Vikka. Doing great, brother. Got a little rain in New York today, and it's awesome. We kind of needed it. It's not too cold, but had a good week, and this is going to be a great show too. I've been looking forward to it. This is really, really old. This version of creation and the heavens above and what they're doing, what we're doing. Yeah, thanks for the show, brother. I know you're busy this weekend. You got things to do, so thanks for having it at all. Appreciate it. Appreciate being here. Welcome everybody on the panel. Good to see everybody. And welcome everybody in the chat. If you're here for the first time, welcome for the first time. And welcome back, everybody else. Good to see you. So, yeah, we got a lot to cover in this story. There's so much that comes out of this story that we still use in society today. And like with all these older civilizations, the people hang on to all of the stuff that are applicable, except for the cosmology part, which the new story steps in about 500 years ago or so. So it's interesting when they call them geniuses and when they drop their genius state and give it to these new guys. It's pretty interesting. And I'm glad to be here, brother. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, definitely, brother. Thanks. And yeah, thanks everybody in the chat and also on the panel, because it's not Friday that we do our podcast, and we had something to do this weekend that I couldn't change it, and there are some things you cannot help, so I really thank you everybody for being here even today. So oh yeah, definitely. And our next panelist is Harry. Harry, where have you been, my brother? How are you doing? Yeah, Harry, are you there?
Yeah, I had some problems with my connection. Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. Nice to be here. It's a really pleasure. Um, I missed a couple of programs because I wasn't, feeling very well. But yeah, I'm happy to be here and very interesting topic tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely, brother. Glad to have you back.
Thank you very
And our
much.
next, oh yeah, and our next panelist, everybody know him. You know him too, Keith. Keith, how are you, brother?
Hey, Vika, doing good. Good to be here with you guys. I won't be able to hang out long tonight because we have some family stuff planned, and I'm waiting for my wife now. But it's a great subject. I enjoyed looking into it a little bit this last week. Just the simple that what I love to say, and it just blows people's minds. I've shared it before, but it's just funny to watch their facial expressions when you tell them, "Hey, our sun is not a star, and stars are not suns." And the Sumerians knew this. The scroll, the I forget what they call them, but they're cylinders
The
that they press
tablets.
down.
Yeah,
They
the
made,
tablets.
yeah, the tablets that they made that distinctly showed different artwork for the sun versus the stars. And it doesn't matter what creation story you talk about, all the ones I've looked into show that the sun and the stars are very different. But we have this heliopsychosis in our culture today where people think that our huge, far distant sun is just one of billions of stars. And it's just part of the deception. But something so simple that people can look up with their own eyes and see that the sun is a sun. Stars are stars. They are distinct. They are very different in their energy and their nature. And the Sumerians knew this however many thousands of years ago. And it's something that we're trying to reteach or help people unlearn what they have learned today in 2022. So even though I won't be able to be with you guys all tonight or for the whole show, I'm gonna hang out as long as I can, and I'll be listening to it, listening to the entire show later. But Vika, thanks for doing these. I'm really enjoying them.
Oh yeah, definitely, brother. And yeah, these globe earthers, like these ones who are pushing, the literature about the globe. They want to put their in their context. That's what they even trying with the Sumerian cosmology, as you mentioned. Like how they are you seeing that as a star and portraying that these people saw the solar system, and they just try to do it in their way, but they can't, because that's the real truth. What is coming from so long from ancient and the cosmology. For sure, we'll get into it more deeper through the show. Thanks, brother, for being here. And our final panelist is Evelyn. Evelyn, how are you?
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm also really enjoying these podcasts from different cultures and that. And yeah, can't help but seeing all the similarities and just thinking that it all comes down to the same geocentric model. So and also the time frame is also the same. So I'm enjoying this.
Oh yeah, that's the whole idea, Evelyn, because to see that it's all the same thing is the whole idea, is the same thing, because it's all one eternal truth said to different versions, right? The more you dig in, the more we are seeing that.
Yes.
So that's one of the main reason we are trying to do all these different cosmologies. We have started a few, and we're going to be doing as many as possible, so that the people literally see it. And as we say always before we start this cosmology topic, is that we are not trying to push any religious faith on anybody. This is only just for investigation and research purpose, so we can see the different cosmologies and the creation stories. And and the evidence it shows about how it's a geostationary and flat cosmic Earth, So that's what we're going to be doing today also here with the Sumerian cosmology. So starting with the word Sumeria, right? The whole culture, this culture is based on this name Sumeria. What is one of the main reason? What's the main anagram of this word is Meria, Sumeru, Mount Meru, Mount Sumeru. Okay, so it's telling the importance of Mount Meru in the name of its civilization. So how important it is of the north in that culture, the Mount Meru, the magnetic mountain, the tree of life, the
The
Rupes
center of
Nigra.
civilization.
Yeah. So what other shape of the earth could be for this civilization other than being it geocentric stationary earth? Only the word in itself, it's telling us what the earth could be, right? According to this cosmology.
Yes. Well, what we know of the Sumerians is that they were one of the first people to elaborate a language and writing and architecture, the arts, astronomy, mathematics. So and their religious system was quite complex because they had hundreds of gods, and according to the ancient texts, each Sumerian city was guarded by its own god. And the humans and the gods lived together, and the humans were sort of the servants to the gods. And the earliest myth can be found on the tablets, the tablet of Nippur. That is Nippur is an Mesopotamian city that was founded in approximately 5000 BC. So we have all this, the Sumerian tablets been written in that era. In that era of 5000 BC, 4000 BC, which coincides with also the age when Nimrod ruled.
Exactly. They have the thing is, the Sumerian cosmology, they have so many gods, but there are so many gods for each and everything, and especially with the agriculture and animals and cattle and land and seed fertility. It's all connected with this, and the gods and the cities. So they had God for everything, maybe more than 100 or something. So the main ones are supposed to be the Anu, the Enki, the Enlil,
Yes.
And their creation story also start with this Tiamat, and
so the creation story that begins with darkness. There was just darkness, and there was a primordial sea.
Right, watery chaos, chaos, right?
Yes, and that primordial sea was named Namu, and that was total darkness there. And then Namu gave birth to the universe, and the universe is what they call Anki. That was heaven and earth in one, so it was still one being, one creation. And then Anki he gave birth, or he made a god named Enlil. That was supposed to be the god of the air. And what Enlil did, he split the universe into two. So Anki, the universe, he actually split that into two, into An and Ki. That's why, the name Anki, because that was a combination of the god of the sky, An, and Ki, the goddess of the earth. So that's how he separated.
They separated the heavens from the earth and created a part where they could have this kind of race and enjoy the privilege of creating this race,
Yes,
and rule over them.
Yes.
Yeah. And also in part of creation story with the Sumerians, it speaks about this battle between Tiamat and that they have a fight, and that the body of the Tiamat becomes the earth, very similar to also as we spoke about the Norse cosmology the last week, how the part of the body became the land and the river and the Euphrates, so it's different way of saying the same things, because this fight they're speaking about with Tiamat, these are huge too, because because in the watery chaos, how the land was formed. So literally in Sumerian cosmology, it's a piece of this, it's a piece of land in the form of a disc. And I also have a video about this, maybe in January of this year, I released it. 2,500-year-old clay flat earth map. I have a video both here on YouTube and on my Facebook channel, which speaks about this clay map we are speaking about, in how the Sumerian cosmology perceive its earth. It's in the form of a disc on an ocean which is flat.
Yes.
And this is one of the oldest clay map in the world, 2,500 years old map. And these people are saying, is it written in stone? Yeah, it is written in stone, because it is literally written in stone. One of the most ancient map to exist is a flat earth map. Go and look it up. It's everywhere in Sumerian cosmology.
Yes, maybe
anybody can go and
an idea to put the link in the face group by the
I'm gonna put now the link right now in the chat. But yeah, go ahead. Anybody wants to mention anything about that too?
This isn't quite on subject, but another story from the Sumerians I find fascinating is the Epic of Gilgamesh, and some of the artwork showing him being, 15, 20 feet tall, holding a full-grown lion in his hands like it's a little kitten. I think a lot of the history that we're taught in this government world, or this government system, is history, thinking back that these Sumerians were just little 5 foot, 6 foot people. In my opinion, would be that they were probably giants. That if we've looked back into a lot of their culture and artwork, they're probably much larger than the humans that are alive today. But just the Epic of Gilgamesh, if nobody's heard that story, it's a good story to look into. It's fascinating on how he was when he was arrogant and proud and then how he became towards the end of his life when he became somewhat more humble. And I think that's part of, any if there is a true religion, I think any part learning that, it's not all about me or not all about us. And just the fact that, that story of Gilgamesh seems to bring that point home, that, you can start out being prideful and arrogant and conceited. And really, that's an evil way to live. But if you get, as you grow spiritually, whatever that means to you, learn to be a little more humble. That it's just not about you. It's about serving others and helping others. And I think the Sumerians, whatever their religion was, I don't know, their religion, all of the religions I've looked at have so much mixture, and some of them have so many similarities to other religions. And even with the cosmologies, there's so many similar things from the Sumerians to the Book of Enoch to the Bible. And I think as I was looking into the Sumerians, they actually talk about the waters above and the waters below, that there's two heavens above the waters that would be our sky or our dome or our rakia, whatever it is. And then there's a third level, the lowest level, which is the earth, which is our flat earth. But that is a similarity that we see time and time again in many of the old world cosmologies. And one of the things that cracks me up is this guy or girl, whatever it is that Brian Cox, astrophysicist guy, or a girl. Honestly, I don't know if it's a he or a she or what it is, but he came out with a statement. I never know of anybody in history that thought the Earth was flat. It's like, oh my God! Every ancient culture you studied, they didn't think the Earth was flat. They knew the Earth was flat. And I think that's where most of us are. I mean, people say, well, why do you believe the Earth is flat? And I said, oh, I don't believe that. Like, oh, I knew it. I knew you didn't believe the Earth is flat. No, I don't believe the Earth is flat. I know the Earth is flat. And that's the truth about the Sumerians and all the ancient world cosmologies. They all knew that the Earth was flat and stationary. It wasn't a question. I think the question has really just come up in the last 100, 150 years. And you guys know me, I don't trust anything history-wise beyond 150 to 200 years. The 3000 BC or 200 AD. I mean, that is like religion. It's all messed up, mixed up. It might be this, it might be that. As I've learned more about flat Earth and these cosmologies, I've learned to take everything with a healthy dose of maybe. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. I don't know. But I think just keeping that mentality of maybe kind of helps you be open-minded to learn some new things about this place that we call Earth.
Oh yeah, definitely. Effie Nation is saying that the link I put in the chat, the video is not available. Yes, brother, these people are in some countries they don't allow this video. I don't know why, because it's really getting on their nerves, because in some places you can see this video. If you can't hear, maybe you can find it on RTS, on my channel Vikka Draziv, or on Facebook on my page Vikka Draziv, Truth in Plain Sight. Yeah, it's an awesome video, brother. And yeah, Keith, definitely, brother, the similarities are because they all are very near to each other. Egypt, the Arabian Peninsula, the Sumeria, they are very near to each other. The Mesopotamia, the Syrians. So the whole creation story, the whole astronomy, astrology, their cosmology have to be similar. It has to have the same root, because in most of the culture, in the end, it's the same, because the truth, as we said, is universal, is one truth. So it's just different variation, as we were mentioning before. Also, as Harry too was mentioning before, that it's this, no, right? Because they are very near to each other, so they are going to influence from each other. It's going to be like evolving one from each other. Yeah, Harry, you want to add something before we continue?
Yeah, Sumerians, they were talking about the different heavens, right? There were the stars heavens, the gods heavens, the Aru, heavens as well, and then the waters, of all, which means they were like islands, on one of the heavens, above the stars. Another world, another realms inhabited by gods, but not gods that we expecting, but maybe much more evolved civilizations. A lot of secrets, you have in those, in this cosmology, because they try to explain us, but we don't have the mindset to understand it. Okay, so they're just drawing, and we can't figure out, what is the water of Avol, and how the different, heavens are made or composed from different, gases. And the Hebrew cosmology is exactly the same. And the words, Anunnaki, for example, in Sumerian, and the words Anakim in Hebrew have the same root, right? The same culture. It's actually, they're just descending from the same cultures, the Hebrews and the Persians, the ancient Persians or Sumerians.
Oh yeah, definitely, because there are so not only words, and even if we speak about the flood and everything, actually it comes from there too.
Yes.
The whole Eridu Genesis, it's like a whole copy and paste to all the later Abrahamic religion.
But comparing, the Egyptians, they have the same cosmology with different names.
Also.
But you see, in the movie Avatar, they're showing, those, lands above, the floating islands, as a negative priming. People don't pay attention about that things. But the movie Avatar is talking about the original man of Earth, the Hyperborean civilization before this creation. That's interesting. And it was another creation before this creation, over 6,000 years ago. Because, the Sumerians and the Hebrews, and the Egyptians, they are talking about this realm exists no more than 6,000 years ago.
Oh yeah. But there are different cultures or scriptures or cosmologies who speaks about different realms and who speaks about different existence and different civilization or extra lands, and so
yeah, but I'm not talking about the exolands, other domes, in other territories, away from the Antarctica. I'm talking about in this, dome, because we have few domes on this dome, on the top of each other. And there are so lands in here, in the same system we have, in the same realm. We're sharing different realms in the same realm. It's in, it's like the babushka, the babushka or matryoshka. You have another in each other, the same. In Sumerians, they're talking about it.
oh yeah, it's different dimension could and does exist right here. Definitely. Definitely.
The information I found was that the Sumerians believed in multiple heavens and earths, and actually it states 7 heavens and earths, and that reminded me of a chapter in the book the Legends of the Jews. It does state that several heavens were created, 7 in fact, each to serve a purpose of its own. So the first one, the one visible to man, has no function except that of covering up the light during the night. The planets are fastened to the second of the heavens. In the third, the manna is made for the pious in the hereafter. The fourth contains the celestial Jerusalem together with the temple. In the fifth heaven, the angel hosts reside and sing the praise of God. And the sixth heaven is an uncanny spot here. There originate most of the trials and visitations ordained for the earth and its inhabitants. Snow lies heaped up there, and hail. And then the seventh heaven contains nothing but what is good and beautiful. So right, justice, and mercy, the storehouses of life, peace, and blessing. The souls of the pious, so the good people, the souls and spirits of unborn generations. So actually, that's where when God made everything, He actually made all the souls also. So everyone who is unborn is is there waiting, sort of, and that's it. And then
yeah, there's a lot of stuff connected with the Sumerian cosmology, especially with the Anunnaki and Enki, and there's just so much of hype of these gods being aliens and out of this world. But if you literally see all cultures have that divine connections, and these sci-fi lovers, they just want to wrap it around in their way that these gods came from outer space, the Enki and Anunnaki and all these people. So they always try to do that. But there are some amazing information if you really dig in about these Anunnakis and Enki and all these gods. These gods could be just gods from these heavens, not this outer space. They could be of above or below realms, of different gods managing these different realms. And it's like a whole scripture or a whole writing that exists about these gods, about these Anunnakis, and about Enki and Enlil, and how it's a family feud to control the whole world, the whole realms. And that's why they have inner wars between them. They all are family. They all are related. So there's some amazing papers, or amazing in a way we could call it, in a kind of a book, but it's called papers. Maybe you guys should check it out. It's called Wes Penre, WES, Wes Penre, PENRE, Wes Penre papers. Okay. And it's all connected to how these are alien gods, but what they are doing and what's happening, and how the whole things of souls coming to this world, and how they are how it's everything working, the life process, how souls are born, how we come into this world, and what is happening when we die, and how the souls come back. It's all like in a way written, which is said by this person who have written this, says that it's been given to him by these people, So if you guys want to go really deep in that, why these gods are created this world according to their cosmology and what is really happening, if you just ignore that alien part out of it, you can literally understand. It sounds crazy. It's like almost like a prison planet, So if you guys are interested, Wes Penre papers, yeah. Go ahead if you want. Anybody wants to add something? Yeah.
When I was looking into some of this, the thing that came out again and again and again was all about aliens. I mean, 90% of everything I saw about the Sumerians was related to the ancient alien theory about life being seeded here or something like that, which is, in my opinion, it's all bullshit. I mean, is there extraterrestrials from extra land beyond Antarctica? Yeah, maybe there could be, but all this stuff that that goes back to aliens, I don't buy it. I don't buy any of it at all. That doesn't mean that there weren't gods that lived, in the seventh heaven or the third heaven or wherever they're from. But the way that the media or YouTube or Google or the internet promotes this ancient alien theory, I think is part of whatever's going to happen when Operation Bluebeam happens, or some alien attack on the Earth is going to happen. It just seems like more programming of the dumb masses who can't think for themselves, rather than, and it leads people away from the truth instead of towards the truth. But it was kind of maddening and sickening as I was trying to research Sumeria, just to see so much about aliens, and I don't buy into that at all.
Something interesting in Hebrew, when somebody's sleeping really, really deep, say it's in the seventh rakia, right? It's like during your astral trip during the night, when you go to sleep, sometimes you're ascending to those, realms and back in the morning.
Yeah, I have
Right.
no problem with, like I said, a third heaven or up to a seventh heaven and whatever those realms are. I think all of that's very real. But I'm just saying the way that the mainstream media pushes this alien agenda is probably setting humanity up for some false alien attack where the government has to have more control over your lives and lock you. You mentioned a prison planet. It seems like the governments or the so-called authorities of this age basically are treating people like prisoners and trying to lock them away, maybe not physically, but definitely mentally, where they just can't think or reason or learn the truth.
Yeah, what I wanted to add to that, Keith, is that they literally try to flip it in their way. Because if you see about these tablets, what they are speaking about, that it's a solar system. Everybody know about this tablet, Sumerian tablet. Where are these gods sitting? And in the corner you see some constellation. And these alien lovers and these globe lovers and all these sci-fi lovers and all these writers and all these who comes and support the alien stuff of outer space, they all are pushing that it's a solar system in that tablet. But we can literally see that it's not a solar system, it's just showing a constellation, right? So they're trying to push it, even one of the most ancient cosmology, and they're trying to say that, you see, their globe is right. They're even 5,000 years before Copernicus, these people knew that the solar system was like this. They are literally trying to push it in their way, and there is no text of Sumerian text which says that. It's literally saying that it's a constellation, and it's showing you the real representation of the sun and the moon and the stars, how they are in Sumerian culture. But they are still trying to push it like, no, these are the aliens. They are showing the solar system and the earth is a globe. So how desperate these people are, in a way. Just to say, you see the ancient connection there about the earth being a globe? It's not like that. It's a lie, because the Sumerian cosmology is a geostationary flat earth cosmology with a disk on the ocean.
Yes, I think we should make a show just for aliens.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to make one. It's called Aliens on Flat Earth. How does it sound?
Oh, good.
Beyond the wall.
I'm gonna have fun with that one.
Oh yeah, definitely, because yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, Jeannie, you wanted to add something?
No, I'm good.
Well, maybe we can go back to the Sumerian.
Yeah, this is all connected to the Sumerians, because in reality, this is the thing. They're always trying in their way, in taking things out of context. Just putting it in the wrong context doesn't make it like that. Because what they're trying to do is, they're showing you the reality, but putting it out of context, the people are indoctrinated, and they won't stop and think that what they're showing is not true, and they won't dig into the same cosmology and see that it's a flat earth cosmology.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yeah, in Sumerian mythology, they something what Harry was saying about civilizations before this creation, before the creation of Adam and the earth, a pre-creation civilization. In the Sumerian mythology, these were gods that inhabited that creation, the earth, how it was, and they were working hard, and they didn't like that. So they sort of revolted against the higher god, Anu, and they suggested to make man, so that man would work for them.
Exactly.
So the first man was created in Eden, and that's in Sumeria. In Sumerian, it means flat terrain.
Wow. And there is no that they to make the humans they like to create the humankind. Like
Yes.
they selected the Enki selected some ingredients from
Oh yes.
from his mother Namu.
Yes.
Yeah, and the
They
bird goddesses. Yeah,
a god. Actually, they selected a god named Geshtue, and they sacrificed him. They killed him.
exactly. Yeah, and then they mix his blood with the clay.
Yes.
And they made the human beings according to this creation story. Yeah.
Yeah. And who was it? Enlil, let's see, the goddess of the womb goddess, Nintu. She actually took the mixture. This is very like.
Yeah, when she mixed, there was 14 womb goddess like gested out the mixture and gave birth to 7 human pairs.
When I read this, I'm thinking, well, this is very simplistic, but what this probably explaining is how they actually, took all the DNA and mixed it, and because it says here that Nintu, she took the mixture into the room of fate, where she recited magical incantations over it. So she pinched off 14 pieces of the clay, and she put 7 to the right and 7 to the left. For those would be male and female. And then she, as the womb goddess, impregnated herself with the new creation of the gods. And when 9 months had passed, she gave birth to them. So actually, she gave birth to the first men, the first humans. So that yeah.
Yeah, and also this, they also say that according to Sumerians, like the humans are half clay and half divine, and there also they speak about that they literally off us. We are part divine, but all our magic, all our divinities is being off. So we just serve as machines, like as kind of biological robots in a way, with no divinity, right? And work for them and build a series and live through their laws, and only the ones who were closer to them had more immortality or more longevity because they were more connected to the gods. So there are about these different races who were, in a way we could call giants or more magical or angel or humans hybrid with all these, so because
there's
it's there.
Section which also brings to my mind of the genetic manipulation that was going on after the flood, because the angels were teaching men how to mix DNA from how to mix animals with each other. So they probably mixed some human DNA also. And I came across this section that Enki and Ninma, they sort of challenged each other to make, to make other beings.
Like a competition, like who's doing the best. We are playing with the genetic. We are creating this creation. What can you create? It's like playing gods and creating these creations and creating everything.
Yes. So Ninma says here she molds from the clay a man with shaking hands, for example, and Enki takes the challenge and places him as an attendant of the king. Next, she makes a blind man, and Enki makes him a singer. tales.
Yeah,
So
like
he's
Enki is
singing.
supposed to be like the helper, of the humanity. He's telling all the humanity what's going on with the gods, and he's giving them solutions for the plagues, for the storms, for the bad times. So
Yeah,
he's playing that
I mean,
intermediary. Yeah.
yeah. So this makes me think that they're actually tampering with DNA to make all these weird stuff. They're just experimenting. Because in the next stage, Enki decides to make his own misshapen being, and he makes something really horrible. So it's a being, a creature that is born prematurely, so it's not even fully formed.
So they're
And
talking
he
about
can't
today's
eat
science.
anything, can't eat. He's all deformed. He's just deformed, and he can't do anything. So Ninma, she's horrified, because she's like, this being is like, no, he's dead. It's gonna die because he can't do anything. So yeah, it's
Oh yeah, so the connection of the clay also goes with all the Abrahamic religion too, right? That the humans are made from the clay, so it's right there.
Yeah, in Revelation somewhere it also says that the iron, they will try to mix the, I'm not sure, maybe somebody knows it better than I do. That they shall mix the iron with the clay, but they will not mix, because iron and clay doesn't mix, but they will try to. So make you think of, oh, what are they going to do? Artificial intelligence there, or can make a half robot, half human, or yeah, who knows?
It sounds like today's science, though. Stuff on the news, cloning and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, it does speak about that putting, as you mentioned, Evelyn, that she took this mix to the gods put the faith or whatever, right? So in a way, they are trying to put in the part of spirit or soul in there, but like totally unaware of the reality, because here they are counting the humans as divine, because if there is divinity, there have to be a bit of spirit and soul in there, a bit, right, according to their cosmology.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that they are how you say devolved, of their potency, of the way they are in reality of their nature, because I think this is what happened also, no, like why in a way this Darwinism and all these things really evolved, because they were literally trying to debunk all this faith and cosmologies, being it Sumerian, being it any Abrahamic religion, so because they saw the creation story to be so mythical, so fantastic in a way.
Right, that's what I think.
I understand people have a hard time believing in the literal story, and so they twist it to make it a spiritual, sort of a spiritual meaning, or an idea, or they just say, oh well, they were ancients, they weren't as intelligent as we are, so they put it very in simple terms that they could understand.
Oh yeah, because also there is those. Okay, go ahead, Jeannie. Before we continue, what were you saying? Jeannie,
I lost train of thought. Sorry.
Yeah, like the similarities, because the scholars, the known scholars, they were like literally like they were first behind also the Bible in a way, right? For trying to analyze the creation story, and they saw the similarities of the flood and many different things that also comes that's there in the Abrahamic religion and also in the Sumerian cosmology, and they just thought that it's the same because it's also the same thing. So it's all based on faith and divination. So they discarded it in a way altogether. All the Bible and all the Sumerian cosmology saying that it's just in a way like So that's why they came up with their theories of all this evolution and many other things was one of the reasons, because they saw the similarities of the flood and all these things with different cosmologies. That's why, and they labeled it as something on faith. But if most of the ones are saying that it's flat, most of them, if they are saying that it's from where they come from, so it's in a way a battle, right? Yeah. So anyway, we're going to be taking a short break, guys. So as Evelyn has mentioned, if anybody have questions, please go ahead, and we're going to be try to answer them after the break. All right, so we'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
My name is Joshua Silva. I am a licensed commercial pilot and flight instructor. I have had a lifelong love of aviation and aerospace, and when growing up I even fancied myself an amateur astronomer.
Number one, I'm a pilot, and when I used to fly out of Long Island towards Nantucket, bottom line here is they're going to give you some type of formula for every 100 miles. They're going to give you some type of XYZ per kilometer squared.
Been in aviation for 21 years. Anything from helicopters to aerostats to big birds, little birds, fighter jets, things with engines, no engines, big blades, little blades, compressor blades.
I woke up to the truth of the flat Earth, shape of the Earth, as an engineer and a pilot.
I'm a merchant marine. I've been sailing 15 years. I graduated from the Paul Hall Maritime Center out of Piney Point, Maryland. I primarily sail on container ships, tankers, drill ships, military cargo vessels. You name it, I can sail on it.
Work experience. I joined the Navy when I was 17 years old. I had a secret security clearance. There's different levels of security clearance. There's a lower level, then there's a secret, which is what I had.
I'll be providing my in-depth experience of U.S. Navy submarines and how they prove we do not live on a globe Earth. However, due to the nature of my job and the security clearance that I hold, I wish to remain anonymous.
All right, welcome back, guys, to the show. We have Jeannie, Evelyn, Harry, and we had Keith too. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to the people in the chat. It's Dr. Frankenstein, FE Nation, Titan Brubly, I don't know how to pronounce that. Better Than Gold, Elizabeth Marcano, Pasted in the matrix. Harry, hey brother. Then there is a few people from Facebook. There is Blitz, Craig, Brian S. Towley, Mike Zudnik, Manu Mirat. Hey Manu, how are you, brother? And more people from Facebook. Then there's Jay Daddy. And there's Tirza Schaffer. And there's Rachel Everson. And it's cover to cover with Jeremy Pierce. More people from Facebook. And there's Evelyn too. Yeah, J Daddy was mentioning a bit materialistic about the blood, clay, DNA, but most, if not all of these newer traditions are very materialistic, right? They ignore the spirit soul for far too much. Right, brother? But if you see, most of the creation story, it speaks about creating in a way, from the earth. Definitely is much more better than coming from an ape, right? No, nothing against the animals, but it's much more better than to be having that, because as we also kind of wanted to speak, like as we were mentioning before, about the genetic manipulation, and so it's very similar story as with other cosmologies too, like, because even in the Vedic culture there is a lot of, it's seen those in a way genetic manipulation, because you see human combined with gods, animals, and human connect. So even in the Egyptians it's been shown, even in the Mayans, even in the Sumerian itself, the flying bull, and so it's been shown actually in all over the cosmologies, all over the plane, these genetic manipulation or playing with the DNA, or so that could be one of the real reason for worldwide flood, in a way. Could be, because even in the Sumerian cosmology, it's one of the most important part, the flood. And how is it? Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was thinking about the Hieronymus Bosch, and the garden of the early delights. He was describing the Sumerian creation as well, if you just pay attention, and the all the genetic engineers doing a lot of genetic experiments in here. I don't know if you see this this picture. Wow, it's interesting how it is describing exactly the same cosmovision, cosmology of Sumerians in this in his art.
Yeah, in which one you're speaking about? In which art you're speaking about exactly, Harry?
The garden of early delights. Look at this picture. It's divided in three parts, and it's talking about it's just drawing the Mount Meru in the center as well, and it's painting the dome and the waters above and below, and all the genetic experimentation, those kind of gods. I don't like to call gods and goddesses, right? But I call them like cosmic engineers But when I say cosmic, I'm not talking about outer space. Okay.
Yeah. Cosmic engineer means like entities. Yeah.
Yeah, entities. Yeah, you're right.
Shall I read a bit from the
Go ahead.
Sumerian tablet?
Yeah.
I found a piece, some writings from the Sumerian tablet. The creation of Earth. This is the creation of Earth according to the Sumerian tablets. Okay. When in the height heaven was not named, and the earth beneath did not yet bear a name, and the primeval Apsu, who begat them, and Chaos, Tiamut, the mother of them both, their waters were mingled together, and no field was formed, no marsh was to be seen, when of the gods none had been called into being, and none bore a name, and no destinies were ordained. Then were created the gods in the midst of heaven. Lamu and Lahamu were called into being. And the text mentioned that at some point the gods mutinied against their labor because they were, working on the earth, and that, so they didn't like that. So they mutinied. And it carries on. When the gods, like men, bore the work and suffered the toil of the gods was great. The work was heavy, the distress was much. So Anu, the god of gods, agreed that their labor was too great. And his son Enki proposed to create man to bear the labor. And so with the help of his half-sister Ninki, he did. A god was put to death. That was the other one. And his body and blood was mixed with clay. From that material, the first human being was created in likeness to the gods. And it carries on to say, you have slaughtered a god together. With his personality, I have removed your heavy work. I have imposed your toil on man. In the clay, God and man shall be bound, to a unity brought together, so that to the end of days the flesh and the soul, which in a god have ripened, that soul in a blood kingship be bound. So that was the...
Oh yeah, and also in the Sumerians, they speak about humans as a way, in a way, temple. Definitely, it's also mentioned in the Sumerian cosmologies. Because here Dr. Frankenstein is saying about that the body is a temple for your spirit to reside in.
Yes.
When we die, we move on to the next phase, like metamorphosis. We start out morphing and die morphing, always changing. Exactly.
That's right. This whole life is like a day in kindergarten for your soul, is kind of my interpretation of it. 100 years, 80 years, what do you get out of here? If you're lucky, right? But
yes, it's having an experience on the earth.
It's fun.
And all these so-called gods are having fun too, in a way.
They call that anthropomorphic polytheism. It's when the gods take human shape, and there's lots of them.
Yes.
You know, the Sumerian tablets weren't even found until like 1840. And the Sumeria is modern day Iraq, which is interesting because we had no business going over there. You know what the first thing they do when they go to places like that is they invade the museums and take the history away from those places because it is written in stone. And when you don't know the history, well, you can't tell the story right. And that's a big purpose of what's going on around these places when they destroy things on a mass scale for, well, you know, because we think that, and we're going in there to show them something. Right? You guys know what I'm saying.
Where was it that they ransacked the museum? Was that in Iran?
All over. That's all over the place. Every time they go in there, they go in there first. And you know, whether it's not people just ransacking it to get artifacts, and but that's their history. And a lot of that stuff does end up on the black market.
Yes, but they're also looking for special artifacts.
Exactly. And what's in the museum that the public sees is not typically where that stuff really is.
No,
but
it
could be around in the basement or 3 miles to the left.
No,
you know,
the real artifacts that they have of value, those disappear.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's part of the reason why what these wars are about. These wars are to destroy the history of this place and what we should be understanding better.
Yeah, one of the technology they speak about that could be there that they were hiding in near that part of, you know, Babylonia or Iraq right now is this. They speak about these portals and all this stuff, right? Especially about these portals where they were behind these portals, which were supposed to be in that part of the world.
The teleportation, you mean?
Yeah.
Right. Y'all right. The circles they're finding, the half ones that were busted, right? In the deserts in the middle of what they call nowhere. A big circle in the deserts, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No, not that. But they have some rumors that these people went and destroyed Iraq was because they wanted to take over a portal that existed somewhere in Iraq, ancient Sumeria or something, right?
Right.
But this is the thing, you know, the whole in this part of the world, the agriculture, the way of building a city, the way of running a city, the democracy, the writing, this all also happened some part from that area. So why it's also a very important part of the civilization, you know, during at least at that timeline, like the Sumerians.
Yeah, we owe them a lot of our current ways of life and things they had. They started making textile mass scale, bricks mass scale. They really knew what they were doing. You know, they understood water, you know, hydraulic engineering, right? Pottery,
exactly,
with the bricks.
Yeah. They didn't really invent these things, but they were definitely influencing. They were really influencing that part of knowledge,
right,
in that region at least.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff was not second, but you know, but it was borrowed and enhanced. Right. I think one of the oldest cosmological discoveries was found like in Africa in the Sahara somewhere. Something sketched on a bone, like 20,000 years old. It had the sun and moon in a dome, but was it on a dinosaur bone? I hope not.
Yeah, that part of the world of Mesopotamia, the Sahara, you know, all this part does have a lot of ancient stuff. Yeah,
a lot of it comes out of there. And you know, a lot of it they cover like the wheel on the ground, right, and the wheel in the sky. These guys, but it all goes back to the cosmology, though. And look at what they have in charge now of cosmology: Newtonian, Galileo, Copernicus, deGrasse Tyson guys, and it's a shame how they, this is the biggest book burning. We're living right through it.
Exactly. J Daddy mentions called into being transcendental sound vibration. Elvin, read this point. This kind of my point. Not all can understand. Yeah. Also, the Sumerians, they speak about some kind of technology for constructing and all this stuff too. They do mention that too, and using it and giving it to the human beings in a way to help them process faster. Apart from the plowing tools and few different tools, they also speak about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the chariot. I think they had that first. I don't know who used them.
Yeah, they say the mainstream media says that they were the inventors of chariot and the wheels.
Right.
Well, if
sculptures.
First humans, I mean, the first generation of humans, well, they probably invented the whole thing, and a lot of things.
Yeah, and also their main architecture also looks like a pyramid. So again, it's very similar. If you see, the Egyptian pyramid, the pyramids in the Americas, the temples in Asia, the stupas, they all look like pyramidal. So the knowledge is the same. Yeah.
The knowledge was taken with the people moving away to other.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's the same thing. In the end, it's all the same. Yeah.
So they took their
knowledge,
their knowledge. They took their gods. They took their everything, the beliefs. They just spread out. That's why we have a lot of cultures that they all come back to the geocentric model, because that was the knowledge then, and then they spread out throughout the world. So that knowledge is everywhere.
Exactly, and it's not a fantasy. So somebody from Facebook is saying pyramid and it's some emoji we can't see. Can you put the question again?
Pyramid
about the pyramid.
Oh, in Antarctica.
Oh, sure. I was thinking Grand Canyon, but
that's the flag of Antarctica.
Yeah.
If the
videos are real, it looks like a pyramid.
Yes, apparently they found something that looks like a pyramid, but when the subject is Antarctica, well, how much of it can you actually believe? Because we can't go there to check it out ourselves. I mean, you can go to Egypt, you can go to South America, you can go overall, and you can see it for yourself. But when you have to depend on these,
that's why I say if it's real video, right?
I mean, is it true? Is it so?
Yeah.
You have to take that with a grain of salt.
Oh yeah, it's all a shared knowledge, be it culture-wise, be it technology-wise, be it metallurgy-wise, be it skill-wise, be it navigation-wise, be it anything you can imagine, scientific thinking, if you want to say. It's all shared. The origin is one, right? So that's why it's the same. Better Than Gold says exactly. That's why we gotta be careful, because it's flirting with Freemasonry.
Yes.
What is?
That's why we don't get your question. Better Than Gold. Can you write? Because we are speaking about the pyramids and why all these culture they look very pyramidal. Some temples, they're not pyramid, but they look like pyramid. Even this the stupas, you know. And here it says somebody's saying from Facebook, it's all owned by the people who own currency and mass propaganda. Yeah, and these are pyramid all over the rim. Yeah, definitely. And there have to be also below, you know, so pyramid is quite an interesting structure in a way itself, you know, even though the Illuminati or even uses it with their eye symbolism, you know, so definitely it has to have its own function, you know, in a way. So why is there, you know, why is those temples also look very similar, you know? So maybe it was just a technology, like, you know.
Yeah, they worked and they worked together with the star forts, I think, for the entire plane, or at least within this realm, right? Maybe not the entire plane, but right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see Dr. Frankie, Native American mounds, pyramids, chief and commander.
Oh yeah, so definitely we give very few credit to the ancients, you know, be it Sumerians, the Vedic, the Egyptians, or all other cultures we are speaking about, you know.
Yes.
We are not really giving them credit because everything alien. What alien? What alien? The race, the civilization before, I think, was much more evolved than what we are in a way, you know.
Well, that's why they would call it alien, because it's unattainable, right? It not going to happen. And like you said, Project Bluebeam is going to scare most of the people who are going to buy into that.
Dude, some of the construction you see, like for example the Sagrada in Barcelona, or some of the, it's crazy stuff. It looks out of the world. You imagine these things being lit up with the electromagnetic energy and all this technology, you know.
Right, exactly. With the pyramids and the star forts and the cathedrals. Oh man, bro, and the dirigibles flying around.
And we think we are very evolved, you know, like they literally reset us, you know, like, you know, go start again, figure it out again, you know, and we're gonna be enjoying all this somewhere else, you know. You have all the aftermath there, you know, for you to figure it out, you know.
Right. Look at the Pacific. They got half of the ball. If you look at the globe, half of it is the Pacific Ocean. Well, like 99% of half, whatever that ends up being. Right? And you can't just go out there. So there could be their extraterrestrial stuff right there. But they'll never tell us. Hey, you know that girl from she's famous. All the kids like her from Stranger Things just had a video doing a polygraph about flat Earth. I didn't really watch the whole thing, but it looked like a little bit of a setup. But people are freaking out on it. So it's interesting to watch these stars. I think they're all just, you know, plants to say things, though. So like Evelyn just said, take all that stuff like a grain of salt. It's interesting how they say something, and then you find out where the tattoo has the pyramid with the eye on it. So it's like, oh, man, we're getting duped.
Oh, yeah. When somebody from Facebook says the current civilization is kept small. Before currency was owned by one group, civilization could freely evolve. Oh yeah, they control us in a way, resource-wise, you know, money-wise, energy-wise,
information, your thoughts, you know, our potential, you know, our food. They got it all. Maybe not for everybody,
Yes,
100%, but the large mass of the people, right?
back then you could actually buy with gold and silver and copper, precious metals, precious stones. You could exchange your goods for other goods, and then
Barter
they
system.
had the idea of inventing money, fake money actually, because that way you have all the control over what is out there, but that's another.
JP Morgan said that gold has worth and everything
That's
else is
another.
debt. Right?
Yeah, whoever controls the main resources, right, controls everything. So that's what they are doing, so keeping us.
Yeah, and that's where the left wing and the right wing should disappear for people.
Oh yeah, we are speaking about this technology and all this construction, and I think in the chat is Martin Liedke. Hey, hello, brother. Nice to see you here.
He should come on, no?
Yeah, definitely, if he wants to.
That would be really cool.
Martin, if you want to join in, let us know. We can send you a link.
So if alien is fallen angels, then what do you say on extraterrestrials?
Yeah, but this aliens being demon, I don't buy into this, I don't literally buy into this. Demon is one thing, and alien is one thing,
That's the thing, is that they just switch the word alien, fallen angel, to alien, and then everybody believes it. Because who believes in angels, right?
Yeah, but it's a disinformation. It's a quite a disinformation to make people more confused, because especially there are lots of people on Facebook who are about aliens being demon. It's like mixing things up,
It's not mixing. It's
interchanging.
It's changing it, switching it.
The same thing, kind of, though. Right? Just change one for the other.
Yeah.
No, because if you literally see it in a way of, for example, for us, aliens are just another race. Okay, they're not those green, small, with their big eyes, or the grays they try to sell us, right?
I see what you mean, because you can have a sort of an extraterrestrial which comes from the outer parts of from other lands.
Yeah, that's what I was just. That's what I meant.
And then you have an alien, which for me that suggests a change of word, a change of title from fallen angel to alien, because it's more. People have been brainwashed with television to accept other life forms from other planets, so aliens, with Star Wars, Star Trek, and all that stuff, and so because there's been there's been a very advanced technology since the 40s, 50s. The technology has advanced so greatly that people are saying, well, yeah, they're getting help. They probably have aliens visiting and
right.
This technology. And then with all the films, people are starting to accept the presence of aliens. So, yeah.
Well, the films are what that soften us up to what they're going to do next.
Yes.
They know what's coming. They're probably, if we're thinking they're 20 years ahead of us, they're probably more like 100 years ahead of us. military, black military, to, you know,
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah, they are.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, they are pre-programming people to
Right.
accept aliens, because if they come, they will accept them. They will say, "Oh yeah, they're coming to help us. They're coming to."
See, I told you. I saw it on TV. It's real.
Yeah.
No, you know,
aliens.
the
we knew it. We knew
yeah,
it.
the chemtrails have strontium in it, and 3D holograms need strontium to work. It's a big ingredient for 3D holograms, so there could be a link there where they got strontium coming out of planes for.
Oh yeah. Martin, no problem, brother. So anytime you want to join us on the panel, you are welcome, brother. And yeah, with the alien thing, is the main agenda for the alien thing being outer space is to sell the globe. This is one thing for sure. And they wrap everything else depending on that, because if they're selling the alien thing on Discovery Channel and Ancient Alien, they're pushing it so much. It's because they want it to be a part of the indoctrination.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What the thing is when these beings come as aliens, as the good creatures to help us, people will not see them as anything else other than, what we have been pre-programmed to see them as, when in fact they are probably the fallen angels that have been released and they are, they're going to be starting to show themselves.
Now, I think they're going to be fake, and they're going to bring some disease, and I'll stop there.
So how far can we go?
So they're using this Sumerian cosmology, to sell this alien agenda, and they have one of their main bases is this Sumerian cosmology, according to this Anunnaki and all this stuff. They try to the Zechariah's teaching and all their most of their hype things, the episodes they sell, it starts from the Sumerian extraterrestrial connection.
Yes, all the different cultures. I think they go back to about between 5,000 4,000 BC, and it's the same timeline as what we see in the Bible or the Book of Enoch or other scriptures. That's the time when the earth was being populated. That humans were actually being fruitful and multiplying, and yeah, all these gods walking around the earth could have been also the hybrids walking around, because if they were as large as Gilgamesh or Nimrod, were about I don't know how many feet tall, and living a couple of 100 years. I mean, that was a longer lifespan than a normal person. So they would have been seen as gods.
Oh yeah, many different culture also speaks about, for example, some native tribes also speak about the connections with the aliens or the gods. In a way, it's in the end, it's just divine. It's it's not supposed to be alien. The Dogon tribe in Africa, even in the Vedic parts, they have connection with the gods from above. So it's all about divine connection in a way. Most of the cosmology speaks about divine connection. But they're not supposed to be aliens. Maybe they are special. They are magical. Maybe. So yeah, the thing is, Sumerian cosmology is no different than any other cosmology. You know, we are seeing the similarities. Like if we speak how it was created with their from the chaos water and the fight between Tiamat and Marduk, and you know, and how the land was formed. You know, the giants also is involved there. You know, and a lot of Sumerian culture also speak about giant people and big people comparison to the other human beings. You know, so and the way the earth was formed, the way it is. You know, we didn't even mention about the heavens they speak about. You know, they speak about the horizon circle. They speak about concrete, like it's like stone for them. This whole earth is like a stone, you know, with different stones of different heavens. You know, it also speaks about that. So
yes, there are multiple cultures which speaks of different levels. Like for example, last week we were talking about the Norse mythology. They had also different levels to their whole creation, which Earth being under Asgard and being connected by the rainbow.
the Midgard, yeah.
Yes, and now in the Sumerian we have them also where they talk of 7 heavens and earths. So the idea is there that they had some knowledge of different levels in the creation.
Oh yeah, and we can see that it's the same. It's the same. It's just different variation. Because somebody also from the Facebook saying Gilgamesh, Nimrod, Anunnaki, Nephilim.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they all stem from the same era, from the same area, from the same people.
Yeah, and it's same different variation of the same thing.
Yeah. Yes, for example, Gilgamesh was actually Nimrod. Nimrod built. He was building the Tower of Babel to actually reach heavens and kill God, which you can't. But God thought, hey, what's he doing? You're being a bit of an egotistical maniac. So they came down and they divided the people by giving them languages, and I think there was a part of the people God changed them to other creatures that looked like elephants and monkeys. So that makes you think of the Indian belief.
Indian gods, yeah.
Right.
Gods that looked like elephants.
Elephants and monkeys, yeah.
So, if you go back far enough, and if you dig into the Bible and Enoch, and I think it's the book of
and Noah also. Yeah. Noah, they also have Noah was also taken from one of their gods and portrayed as Noah in the Christianity or in the Bible.
Wow.
Go ahead, Evelyn.
Yes. No. I lost my. Oh yeah, the languages. Well, he came down and he changed some into elephants and monkeys, and then what happened to the other ones? He just they spread around the earth with their 70 languages, and those people in their own language, they would tell their own story. So Nimrod, the king then of the world, then he has 70 translations of the name Nimrod. So he was known as Orion, Apollo, Gilgamesh. So there's multiple names that they knew.
Right.
That they knew Nimrod as. And then in their own language, they had the the story of creation. So that's why we can go back far enough, and you see all the cultures, all the different cultures that they talk about the same kind of creation with a dome and with different levels, and God creating man. There's always a tree involved. There's a tree of life. So that was a very important bit there. So yes, it's
Oh yeah, so for sure they have passed a lot of stuff also with astronomy and all this stuff, for the later civilizations in that part of the world, definitely. So they played their part, and that's why it's called Babylon, so in some people like the Babylon, the city life, the system which is working, we are still in a way of Babylon, in a way, in the present too, it's just a little bit more advanced.
That's actually the way that they want to introduce the this is going on YouTube, can't be too specific. The way they want to introduce the, let's say, the new order of the world is to make it, bring it back to how it was in Babylon, under the named ruler. There was one king, there was one language, there was one belief, one so.
Yeah, well, what did Christopher Columbus set out to look for, right?
Christopher Columbus, yeah.
The New World.
He didn't discover anything. He just bumped into a rock, I think.
Well, no, he discovered the Bahamas, if anything, they say.
There were
but
people
no,
already.
he was looking for he was looking for the New World, though, right? So this is an old plan. They didn't. I don't think they called it that by accident, and now they're doing it by accident.
No, I think that they were actually looking for the people, for what was there. They were probably curious to find out, well, what's happened on, in the Americas. And there was probably a very different reason than just finding a new route to India.
No, it could have been like right after the flood or something like that in the timeline, right?
Yes.
That's kind of one way to look at it.
Oh yeah. Also speaking about the languages are very similar. There are just few languages. You have which all other languages are based upon. Be it the alphabet, the numbers, the numerology. Whatever you want to call it, but it's the same thing of different version.
You have the Arabic languages. And you have the Latin languages, you have the Germanic languages.
And you have the Vedics, the Sanskrit.
Chinese and Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indo-European languages are coming from Sanskrit, like Latin and ancient Greek. And then the Germanic languages and the cryptic languages like Russian. And Russian have a lot of similarities with Sanskrit. And in Northern Europe, I think in Lithuania or Lithuania, wherever, the language is so close to Sanskrit.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Or Slovenia also. Same words almost.
And the mythology as well. If you take, the Gilgamesh, and you take Hercules or Heracles, the 12 works, going through the constellations, exactly the same mythology as well. The same stories, the same, myths as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, there is no difference, guys. It's it is the same. The cosmology is the same. The creation story is the same.
Yeah, that's we start, talking about Jung and the archetypes, of the collective unconscious, because, that proves that we are one, inside of us.
Oh yeah, but the controllers don't want that. The controllers or the gatekeepers don't want that we all think that we all are one, because that's the end of the indoctrination. And as we spoke about many times, that the communities are infiltrated to make that this don't happen, that we don't become one, because we would find our differences and opinions and fight with each other. We are okay. Even in science, for example, even in science, you have people who believe are with that science, and some people are against the science. And we also spoke about that. This also could be the same in the flat earth community. You have people who are against or different opinion or opposite opinion of somebody else. So there shouldn't be any differences and create differences, because we all are trying to understand the same theme, is the flat earth. So we are going to have opinions or different opinions and different views and ideas and faith also, and playing around with that and creating division just because you think something else. And it's not the right way. As we mentioned, that there are groups on Facebook that they really attack you for Gleason map, for a map. Why?
Anything.
What's your problem? It's a flat earth. What's your problem? Whose problem is this? It's a flat earth. We believe in flat earth.
Yes, they have been working so long to keep us divided, divided in countries, divided in politics,
Everywhere.
even sports teams.
Sure.
Divided in religions. Religion, that's a big division there. Anything, faith, belief,
Pepsi and Coke.
your race, your color, your gender. I mean, they are dividing. So I mean, you can always find something, even in your best friend. You can always find something where you disagree with.
Exactly. Yeah, and there is no problem. There's no problem if we don't have to agree on everything, right?
No.
Really?
Yeah, but the problem is that the people catch some string, for example, religious way or faith way, and they just wanna tear you apart. Just because. Why? I'm a flat earther, you are a flat earther, everybody's a flat earther. You are this part of the world, I'm this part of the world, other is that part of the world. Why can't we live in harmony and don't create that? And especially as we spoke about, difference of opinion is no problem. That's how we evolve. That's how we understand each other, because we're trying to explain. But you're not just gonna take out one other way on some faith level, and you're gonna try to divide people. And there is no because you are not even a human being, because if you are not in that kind of belief, why the hell we have to be, or anybody have to be? Because we are. This is the diversity. The diversity is the importance in every aspect, and in the flat earth also have to be the same. We all are diverse, and that's what bring us together. Especially why we as a flat earth community, everybody are coming together, because from different part of the world, because what is common in us is flat earth. Why it's common in us? Because we believe in a creator. What is common in us? Because we believe in a geocentric earth. What is common in us? We are anti-globes. We are anti-fake space. We are anti-NASA. That's what brings us together. And once we got together, now we have awesome, amazing people in the community trying to divide, because you like a map, because you don't like the ice wall, because I don't like that part of the faith, or I like that book, or I like that flat earth book, or this is the only. No, it's not happening. This is not working, because it's not going to work. So that's what we are doing here, is to show that all cosmologies are same because the information is the same, the truth is the same because it's all from the same one source, it's from the same root. We are all different branches from the same root, and we are like, I am the right root, I am giving the right fruit, or I am giving the right shade, or
yes, if people knew that we don't have to be that, that hostile, and if they knew what the controllers are and what they are doing, people will just, they would be angry. They would turn against them, and they are not as many as us, but they have the means, they have the the money, the power, and if they keep us separated, keep us all separated, then and it makes it more difficult to see it from another person's viewpoint.
Yeah, that's exactly. The truth is that it's so obvious everything right now, but the people still don't want to see it, So
yeah, if everybody knew, then the problems would just disappear overnight.
Oh yeah. Hey Manny, how are you, brother? Yeah, I'm too loud, right?
Nah.
So yeah, we all need to wake up. Everybody we need to wake up because there are many in the community who thinks they are really, really awake, So still there needs to be more awakening from inside, So it's required in some aspects, in some aspects, not in all,
Yes.
but yeah, definitely.
And that requires is a realization and a change of heart, change of mind, coming out of a comfortable place into
Yeah, exactly. This cannot be pushed. This cannot be.
And I have to say that it does give you a sort of inner peace with yourself and with your creator to actually know all this stuff.
It does.
And to see it, to see what's going on, and to know that God is still in control, the creator is still in control, and things have to happen in a certain way, which some people are not.
Once you are analyzing and researching something, you have an obligation to look from every angle and every aspect.
Yes.
And Flat Earth is about creation. Flat Earth is about where we live. Flat Earth is about our spiritual aspect. So we need to look in all and every way before we could really conclude it or say this is right or that is wrong. It's very important because you are not researching or doing or analyzing or investigating something by just looking at a couple of things and saying that's it, that's the whole world, that's the reality, and screw everybody.
Yes.
No, that's what science does. They say things like,
also,
look what we got. But wait, forget what we said yesterday. Look what we got now.
Yes. Trust the science.
Right. Always and forever.
Yeah.
No, it's a shame that they got.
That means don't ask questions. Trust the science. This is it.
Exactly. And that's how they're comfortable. They won't talk to anybody in public. It's kind of cool, but it's really kind of not also because we could use a debate with them in public in front of their fans. It's amazing though, you talk about different worlds though. Could we really be living in like two separate worlds? Because how do people not see any of this? Any of it, nothing, anywhere that's astounding to see.
Yeah,
Full
people
blown
are because
indoctrination like that, like no questions asked.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just it. That's just it. That people are comfortable because they are being taken care of. I mean,
Right. All their
we have a
thoughts
house, we have a
are
car, we
spoken
have a
for.
job, we have nice things.
Yeah.
You know, so you get into a very comfortable position where the system works for you in that manner.
In an artificial way, in
Yeah.
a physical.
Yeah, comfortable slaves. Yeah, that's it.
Comfortable
You know
Yeah.
when you watch Pink Floyd, The Wall, the kid grows up throughout the movie, right? And you find him through the scenes staring at a television, and in the song "Comfortably Numb," all the record label bigwigs have to go breaking through the hotel door to find this guy sitting in front of a TV, numbed out of his mind. And it's, it doesn't really show him doing drugs. So it's kind of tells me that's what's numbing you out, and you're comfortably numb when you're watching that television to that capacity. It was just like, wow, Pink Floyd told me so much. And, you can take it however you want, but when I realized that, it just kind of struck me as like, wow, that band is really talking to us. You're comfortably numb when you're watching these people do their thing. And it is uncomfortable to find out once it falls apart. I don't know how people handle it different, but I loved it. I don't want a fake deck of cards standing in front of me. Never did.
Oh yeah, they don't want people to wake up, so that's why we have this routine of how they manage us, and the fear and everything, and all their
the repetition, right, bro?
Yeah.
Repetition is the easiest form of mind control. Just keep saying it. Just keep saying it. This way, that way. You live in space. Aliens are real. Asteroids are scary.
Oh yeah, and they were evolving so much. They are so much advanced. They are so much in the future. Yeah.
Right.
And they can even do some basic things what the flat earthers are asking them to. So.
Now, I don't understand how they say, well, it's his money. Let him go to space if he wants. He's such a plant, that guy. He gets on my nerves. They all do. He's a robot. If you've seen some of them videos, he talks weird. I mean, it just does. Strange dude. He's malfunctioned, though.
Oh yeah, most of these globe pushers, from the Copernicus to Galileo to all these guys, till now, they all are just, planted guys, just to push so Neil deGrasse and this Brian Cox and Bill Nye, they all are doing the same part. So
sure are.
And the people cannot see the clown show they are making out of themselves, so people literally can't see. And as we spoke about, the majority, even on every social media platforms, are making money out of these people, putting Photoshop CGI images, and showing them see the space and all this stuff. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's so easy to manipulate the human and keep them indoctrinated and in the cycle of entertainment and in fake fantasy world, and just keep them there, in the promise of something is going to happen. They're going to go out of space and they're going to save this world and all these Mars
or in
and
the lottery.
So it's just that's always there, hanging, like, yeah, one day, and they are just doing their jobs, ripping people off, taking all the resources, destroying this whole world, contaminating everything, polluting everything, trying to take money in the name of, the warming, fearing people with this.
Yes, they're polluting everything, making everything, our atmosphere also poisonous, and then blaming us for, for for all the climate changes and all the bad things that they're actually doing themselves.
Yeah. They blame us for the plastic, not Pepsi for the waste.
Mm.
They create
Oh,
more
yeah.
waste than we do, by the way, and they're the ones making the footprint, not us. Take any military guy, his footprints. What's a military guy's footprint compared to a civilian? I couldn't imagine. So, or a star, or a Hollywood star. What's their footprint compared to one of ours? So, how about that?
Oh, yeah. And go ahead, Gene.
No, it's just the same people blaming us, like Evelyn just said. All these people blaming us, but they're the worst culprits. Corporate America is the worst welfare recipients walking.
Exactly, how they play with the economy and everything, and how it's all controlled. Everything is so well planned, they destroy lives, every day by doing all their stunts and all their crazy crap, so and what we are seeing today with all of the economies and everything going around the world, and so it's all, and the social media and the money system and everything, so it's just so pre-planned, well done, that who suffer are the masses, the people, right? And because it's so it's well done, the mechanism is so well done that for the humans it could be few lifetimes to even understand the way, how it works and how to get out of,
right, how to reestablish what we had.
Yeah. As many say that we are in a matrix, so they build that matrix, so to make sure that it's quite difficult to get out of the matrix. So.
Well, they knew, and somebody's on paper saying that it would be so well hidden that most people couldn't see it, and the people that did see it, everybody thought they were crazy. So well planned, so well designed, and it's true. The gears are all together. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, a few hundred years or more, to that the things go
right.
How it goes, right? So
if the timeline's right, it's then the percentage is like 5% of time is under the spell right now.
Exactly. The other thing also I wanted to mention about this, this Elon Musk speaks a lot about this AI, and we have to take care of the AI, and he's trying to be the savior of the world, freedom of speech, but he's the one who's selling this spacecraft, space crap,
He's got
instead
a
of
car
space,
in space, guys.
yeah, and instead of spacecraft, is space crap, that he's selling. And now that he's into this digital world of technology and freedom of speech, all this stuff, and that he's gonna help, and then he's speaking about we have to take care with the AI. What is AI? What the hell is? We are already, as I said, we are already fighting the AI because the algorithms
really
is an AI. Okay, we all are fighting against the AI, literally trying to spread the truth. So what the hell he's speaking about the AI is going to be dangerous. He's already using AI on us to control the narrative. He's going to control the narrative in more in the future. That's why he acquired the Twitter, right? So it's all planned. He's also a puppet there to do what he's supposed to be doing, right? With the technology and how the situation of the world is, with the currency, with the information technology, with this social media and all this crap he's trying to involve with that.
Sure. Now he's gonna be with Facebook and YouTube, and they're all gonna get together, and they're all gonna be linked together. Not that they're not now, but it's gonna show more when these big guys take over bigger things.
Exactly. So literally before they make those robots and who are physically going to come and destroy the humans, they already are trying to destroy with their AI technology, with the algorithms.
Really? Yeah, you're one bad word, man. That's the end of it. It's a little creepy because you're not even sure what words they are sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's why we try to avoid hot words, right? That we don't get a strike, or we don't get banned, right? So
yeah, the umpire is terrible. They call strike on you for no reason.
oh yeah, that's why we don't discuss everything we want to, so that's the reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and today's Friday night, that's why we are also a bit off topic, but we are it's a chat today, it's an open chat, so anybody have a question, we are still here chatting, so totally no problem. Today's Friday night, yeah, at least here.
I think Europe has gone to sleep already.
Yeah,
Europe has gone
yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Vikka don't sleep.
It's almost 2 a.m. here in Europe. In Israel, for Harry, it's up to be 3, right? Harry, are you there or are you already sleeping?
I'm here, but I was coughing, so I just need my microphone.
Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sometime we should have this kind of podcast too, open podcast, where we discuss everything together. Yeah.
Sure.
So a change of date made this change today of what we are speaking today, right? So anything you guys want to discuss? Any question?
Didn't they recently find a body of Gilgamesh somewhere? Allegedly.
Supposedly,
Right.
they found a body in 2010.
Where was that?
2010. It was a few years ago.
Right. Where was that? It was kind of a cheap video. It's like a Bigfoot video almost, a little grainy. Hard to really tell.
Well, I'm not because I'm following a lot of stuff from Rob Skiba. He does talk about that particular topic a lot. So, it's really interesting.
The video looks interesting.
Yes.
The big, it's whatever it is, it's tall. Looks pretty big.
Yes, and it still had skin and all.
It looks sort of real, but it could, it could have been a movie prop.
What they tried or have done was to get DNA from that particular body.
Oh yeah, how'd they do? Who's that? Where did they find it though? Anyway.
Where? Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I forgot.
I don't know, in a tomb somewhere, maybe in Iran or Iraq or.
I was thinking Iraq.
Places.
Yeah, I was thinking Iraq anyway, but right. So you figure the government is going to do the tests, right?
Yeah, they're
not going to tell us anything.
I heard in this documentary that Rob Skiba was in the podcast is that they tried to extract some DNA, but I don't know if it was good enough or not to do any more experiments or whatever. Because I mean, if you have DNA, you can actually clone. They're probably
Right.
stage that they can clone this, being. That's why they keep also testing with mammoths.
Right.
Where they find the mammoths in Siberia, they're frozen. They got the hair. They got food in the stomach. They died quickly, and they keep wanting to extract DNA from those mammoths to see if they can, use the DNA to clone them. So all these experiments are actually, preparing for something else.
Well, yeah, they're like the butchers, polished up butchers, with their experiments and what they do and what they come up with in all areas, not just biology. Look what they do with plants and oil, and they turn oil into pharmaceutical plants, right? That's crazy.
Yes.
So that these people are really nuts. And the movies do soften us up to the idea of what they're doing.
Yes, that's the way that they, it's a pre-program people to get used to seeing stuff. Like RoboCop. They're happy. There's the artificial intelligence, in RoboCop,
right?
And the other one, Van Damme.
RoboCop is good. That's when the machine goes crazy, starts killing people in the office.
Yeah,
it's just a glitch.
It's just a glitch.
Great scene. You're on like the 50th floor, and this robot comes in, machine gun blaring. Excellent. I watched the 1939 movie with Boris Karloff, who played Frankenstein. It was called The Man They Could Not Hang, and it was about the medical system. He was a doctor, and he figured out how to bring people into death, or not death, but anesthesia kind of thing. And this is an interesting story about the whole thing. And basically, it was like the movie Saw. I don't want to be too much of a spoiler alert, but how many people are really going to go watch a 1939 movie? It's interesting.
Okay, another thing I also wanted to mention is about with the Sumerian. There's a lot of connection with Nibiru. What do you guys think about Nibiru?
It's a star system, right? Is that the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades?
No. They speak about as a planet, as a huge planet.
Oh,
the globe,
right. Okay.
Which comes around every few hundred years, and when it comes,
right,
there's a connection with the aliens and with Anunnakis, and
like
you guys heard about that?
It's like every 36,000 years.
Yeah.
Well, anything that suggests coming from outer space or in outer space, well, we know.
Well, there could be some sort of like planet that doesn't show up, right? I don't see nothing wrong with that. It could be some sort of light that just shows up, like a Halley's Comet on a different time pattern.
Yeah.
That wouldn't bother me.
Just a light in the sky.
Yeah.
Talking about a hill call was something like that as well, right? But maybe we know planets are projections are like a holographic. So
Project Bluebeam.
Well, they're just projections, semantics and plasmatic, so they can do whatever they want. But yeah, people are very, scary about, this solar system that is a million times bigger than this solar system will, collapse against us and all the crap,
Right. Happened before, it could happen again. They say black holes could form right in front of you. Be afraid. Run. Feel bad, kind of, though, because it's so obvious, and people are like, no.
Yeah, but they also speak because of the Nibiru, all these disaster is happening, and they're selling again. In the end, it's just selling about those end stories because of Nibiru and the winged planet, every few thousand years, and
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like the Mayan calendar and the end of the world. Computer disaster that never happened. I was afraid of that. I was like, I don't know. You never know. Not afraid, but I was 50-50 on that.
Oh yeah. So in ancient Sumerian or Mesopotamian, like they envisioned the world as a closed dome, like surrounded by primordial saltwater ocean, like Namu or Tiamat, the three heavens, the seats of the constellation, the younger gods and the elder gods, along with the underworld, enclosed the earth, which was flat, supported by pillars rooted in the underworld, and surrounded by another saltwater sea on all sides. And underneath there was a massive reservoir of fresh water. Like it's in a way it's showing and saying, like this disk being in the middle of the ocean has its saltwater source below it, and the rest is all salt water around it.
Yeah, there's plenty of freshwater sources that they really don't. They know the source, yeah, but they don't know where it's really coming from.
Exactly, and the pillars of the earth, and also it's speaking about the gates to the heaven through this underworld, very similar to as we spoke about in the Norse too, like connecting different worlds.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It really is. So this makes me wonder if this has happened many times over, or is this a few times and the stories are just thrown out like 10 decks of cards all mixed up, right?
Exactly. And here also, for example, like the world of the Sumerians is like an inverted plate in a salty ocean. Below this plate lies the hell called Kur by the Sumerians. Above the plate are the arched roof of the heaven. The whole system is embedded in a fresh water ocean. Rain comes from this freshwater ocean by opening doors in the walls of the heaven. It's crazy, yeah. It's almost like showing it's like a bubble in the ocean, which also very similar to the Vedic cosmology, where it speaks about, like the whole Vedic cosmology too is like almost in a bubble, in the ocean. And also all different cosmology speaks about the oceans above, below, and around it, right?
I love that idea. And that's sort of how they explain space too. You got to correlate the two together and make more sense out of it, because they're lying, they're twisting the story. So they tell us space is this vast, endless ocean of nothing, and I don't believe that, but I could believe that the earth, this earth or the plane, even if we're trapped in one little part of it, it's this vast ocean of everything. And
yeah.
Right, yeah, I'm okay being right here, right now, too. That's what it's all about. Prepare myself for with my history for my tomorrow. My tomorrow is like my next life kind of idea too. I want to go back there with a great story of how I'd handle myself on this plane. I almost said planet. So that's kind of my idea about it. Yeah. But they wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want anything decent for people. It's a shame. It's a shame. I just don't get it, everybody. How to convey this message to people stuck in that story so hard? Where are they stuck? How can we unstick them? Is the goal. That's what heliopsychosis is about. Getting them out of heliopsychosis. Right?
Oh yeah, and that's not easy. Yeah, we know that.
Wow. Yeah, difficult. Our hands are full, guys. We say that a lot. Hands are full.
Oh yeah, so this is the thing, bro. People, these people love that the Sumerian cosmology is a global cosmology. They would love it to be like this, but it's not like that. We all know that. So yeah, and make sure, guys, you guys check out this video. What I left a link about the 2,500-year-old map, the clay map. So very interesting one, because it's literally showing the Sumerian cosmology, how they perceived the earth was. It's showing that part of the clay, and it's called like this, like the 6th century Babylonian cosmological map. That is literally saying that. Look for it. Babylonian cosmological map. It's shown city of Babylon. It's showing the Tigris River running near a pillar of the earth. It's showing the water of the cosmos. It's showing the platform of the earth. And right there in front of their face is one of the oldest artifacts, being a flat earth map, which shows the cosmology of the Sumerians to be a geostationary flat earth, like any other cosmologies we have discussed till today here with our podcasters, and definitely we're going to be discussing more in the coming weeks. So anyway, guys, we're gonna be having our last thoughts for today about the topic, and we're gonna be wrapping it up. Sumerian cosmology, awesome.
Yeah, it was, guys. I'll say goodnight. Vikka, that was really awesome, brother. I don't even know what to say right now. So much similarities between these stories. They kind of get confusing with the names. Like, only the names change to protect the innocent and the guilty. And I like the older stories. So the older the better, because they're like learning a plant. You learn the leaves, the stem, the root, all of it. And it's a lot of fun. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And yeah, again, Vikka, I'm glad you threw the show during your busy schedule and everything you got to get going on. So I appreciate it, man. It's a great chat tonight. Everybody have a great week.
Oh yeah, definitely, brother. Thank you. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, man.
Wants to go next?
Yeah. Hi. I'm gonna say good night, and it's important to keep learning from each other, and because it's all different perspectives, different points of views. So just learn from each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what the real reason for this podcast is, to learn from each other, and take it ahead. Thank you, Evelyn, for all the inputs. Awesome. Harry.
Yeah, I recovered from my cough. It was very interesting. I was thinking about what she said before, about the old, ancient Sumerians doing those genetic experiments, and you see it in the Indian culture, no, not in the Indian, not indigenous. I mean Indian, the Hindi, about Hanuman and Ganesh and stuff like that. So all cultures are basically the same because we are one. and we have to stick together and not be divided anymore. Don't let the system to manipulate us anymore.
Oh yeah, definitely, brother. That's why we are trying to do that, and we hope it helps to, as somebody mentioned, Flat Earth unites the whole world. Yeah, and we are trying to make that union much more happening, because we know there are not so much union in some parts, so we are trying to do that. So yeah, and Effie Nation, brother, you can find it on the Facebook on my page. Yeah, Vikka, Draziv, Truth in Plain Sight. You're gonna find that if you just go through the video. And yeah, people, Flat Earth Cosmology, with the Sumerian cosmology, we saw through that. It's no different than any other, a flat stationary plane. The creation story is the same. The giants, the war, the part of the giants became this earth, the sun, the moon, the movement. It's also speaking about the movement of the luminaries. Also, it speaks about, and not of the earth. They even have gods in their name of stationary and inertia, and which in itself show that the earth is stationary. And all their observations, their culture, it reflects what they are saying, where they lived and how their world is. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Evelyn, Harry, Keith, and everybody in the chat. Thank you so much, guys, for being here today. Today was not Sunday, but still you guys were here. Amazing. And make sure you guys check us out next week on Heliopsychosis podcast. This is Vikka, Draziv signing out, guys. See you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
Cheers,
Night, everybody.